Dirty is the word that comes to mind. Silence or quiet or shh.
Definitely all negative words. It's painful. It's almost traumatizing every month.
Basically, you were just supposed to kind of not talk about it. That was, I think, the most frustrating.
I thought it was something abnormal and something is wrong with me, you know.
I honestly thought I was dying. I think maybe my mother didn't handle it properly. I guess it's just been passed through the generations that people don't see it as just a very natural part of being a woman.
Je me rappelle, j'avais pas dit à mon frère, donc je cachais les serviettes dans des Kleenex.
فجأة لازم أنا أشتغل كروشيه وكانفا، ممنوع ألعب مع الصبيان، ولأني بنت وكرهت أني بنت حرموني من كل شيء.
I felt like I had officially become a second-class citizen. Once a month, for the rest of my life, I will have to deal with some superpowers.
I think amongst Indians, especially Indian men, they see women as being dirty during this time of the month. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions.
I didn't want to become a woman. I didn't want my body to change. I didn't want to get hips. I didn't want to get tits. And I don't know, I had the feeling that that moment where I got my first period was gonna change something in me forever, that something was gonna be broken. I don't know why, I just had that feeling. And the AC goes on. So this is what PMS looks like. Questioning your whole life. Wanting to break everything. And feeling that you're gonna explode. I feel I'm gonna explode. Can't fucking handle anything. I'm smoking like a motherfucker. My breasts are gonna pop. I have had very strong urges to leave Jordy. I feel extremely emotional. I feel fat. I feel lethargic. I feel angry. And I feel like I'm boiling, actually. That's what I feel like. And that I need to get to work and I'm unable to get to work. So I need to get to work now. Like really, the feeling of like, is the feeling of a balloon that's about to pop. Like anything could trigger me popping right now. My pencil light. I don't clearly remember my first kiss. I don't remember the first time I had sex, but I do have such a clear, vivid memory of my first period. And since then, periods have been a huge part of my life. Periods equate to pills, pads, PMS, pain, and sending crazy messages to my husband, Jordy, who witnesses it all. Jordy, what do you feel happens to me when I'm PMSing?
I'm scared. I cannot answer this.
Why? Oh my God. What does PMSing mean?
Fighting. No logic. Tension. Shouting. That's it.
I wanted to learn more, to understand more. I ordered every single book that I could find online that talked about periods. I read plenty, watched plenty. And then I came across an author who I felt connected to, Chris Bobel.
Is that menstruation in a lot of ways is a foil to femininity. It is evidence that we are, of our animal body, our body that operates on its own schedule, that can be messy, that can be unruly, that can leak. And that doesn't map onto what it means to be a proper feminine woman, right? Which is contained and disciplined and tidy and discreet, and every hair is in place. And you know, what the project of femininity really is a project. It really is a constant struggle against the body to keep it contained and hairless. And so menstruation in some ways violates that. And so we really have to work very, very hard to police it, to discipline it, to keep it in check.
Ain't nobody's business. Introducing Ain't nobody's business. New Tampax Compact Tampons.
If you could change one thing about your maxi days, aside from not having them, wouldn't you just like them to be cleaner? Well, say hello to cleaner days with new stay-free silhouettes.
So in order to be a good menstruating body, we need to portray no evidence of menstruation. We need to manage menstruation so that there's no blood seen and there's no really discussion of menstruation itself. And I think that's the hand of patriarchy, the invisible hand of patriarchy. I think it's locked in the hand of capitalism, whereby the body gets seen as a problem to be solved through engagement with consumer culture.
Hello and welcome to my channel. These are all your period essentials. So I use all these products whenever I have my period, and right now I am menstruating. So these products range between products I use for hygiene and products I use to manage the pain. The first one I use is Always Cotton Soft. That one I use on a daily basis when my period is kind of flowing, just started, not really. Then I use the Always Night Maxi Thick, Super Plus if I have to exercise. This is like the drug that is like magic. Now you might wonder how much all this might cost. So we're gonna do the math together, okay? I have all the prices, I have my paper to write the numbers, and I have my calculator to calculate the numbers. So the Always one, this one, is 1860 dirhams. This one, the Always Night, is 1850. And your total is 413.75. That's in dirhams. In dollars, that equates to divided by $112. And taking into account that we women menstruate around 460 times in our lifetime, let's multiply this by 460 times. That's $51,000, 718. $51,000, 718. That's a lot of money. Thank you for watching Period Essentials. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.
What should I focus on, for example?
On your career, on your studies, on your daughter, on your husband, on your...
On your husband the most.
Yes.
Shut up, Jordy.
Of course.
But I am focused on
لا
everything.
بس يعني your body فلقتينا of your body. This is not normal, Leah. This is not normal.
But a lot of people have this issues.
They are mentally retarded, and you want to be like them? Mahalo.
But usually this comes up when I'm gonna get my period. So now I'm PMS.
Every 15 days you want to PMS?
Yeah.
But why do you think I have issues like that?
Because you give it too much importance.
But I can't control it.
لا, you should control it. Leah, أنت عندك volonté.
Parce que même avec ça, j'ai pas la volonté.
Voilà, tu as la volonté. Tu as la volonté de faire beaucoup de choses.
بس I think maybe it's hormonal.
لا انت عم بتحطي براسك.
انت ما بتحسي حالك ناصحة قبل ما كنت
ما فرقانة معي. اوكي ناصحة. Je me trouve très belle comme ça et j'ai beaucoup de succès. Je n'ai pas de complexe ni avec ta poitrine, ni ma taille, ni avec ma grandeur.
ولا مرة؟
لا je m'accepte maman, je m'accepte, je suis bien comme je suis.
طب ليه أنا عندي هالمشكلة؟
ما بعرف. Why you have هيك كل وقت إنه you want to kill yourself for
I am
sports.
PMSing.
You start PMSing on the 25th. It's here. So don't scare me.
But we're almost at 26th though.
25th and we're not.
Yeah. 25th is her period date.
No, I get my period. You know when I get my period?
25th is her PMS.
No, you know when I get my period? On the day I travel.
On the which day?
The 30th.
Oof. 5 days PMSing?
No, sometimes it's 2 weeks.
Sometimes it's the whole month.
الله ايه ليه يا ماما والله لازم تكبري عقلك. هلا وين الحفلة؟
بالأليانس فرانسيز.
ايه بس وين بالاوديتوريوم؟
I guess so. وين بدك
بس فتحتها برنادات.
ليه؟
سبقتها لي فورمي.
While researching the topic of the menstrual taboo, many articles seems to refer to religion as the main cause behind it. So I decided to interview religious figures to understand the impact of religion on our current views on periods. I interviewed a rabbi, an imam, and a priest. I wanted to know how these religions define menstruation.
Menstruation is a normal procedure or process. There is no special place or role menstruation plays in our religion anymore. Although in the past, of course, influenced by Judaism and the different rules and laws which exist in the Old Testament, also in Christianity we have had in older days some restrictions in regard of menstruation or in regard of giving birth to a child, but all these regulations and rules disappeared in modern times.
Judaism does not celebrate a woman's menstrual cycle, and there's a reason for it, because it's considered very private. It's considered so private that the rabbis went a stage further in the Talmud and said that not only should there be no physical contact during her menstrual period, but to protect her privacy, other than her husband, there should be no touching at all. Now, why would they do that? And the reason they're doing that is not to embarrass the woman. If I shake hands or hug just a woman, and then all of a sudden I don't do that when I meet them because I know she's in her cycle, it brings to the forefront and it tells everybody, oh, she must be having her period. And it could cause embarrassment. And so we don't do that.
عندما أتى رجل إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يسأله عن موضوع الحيض عند المرأة، فنزل قول الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. قال العلماء: ما وصف دم المحيض كما وصف بالقرآن الكريم بالأذى؟ قالوا إنه أصعب بمعنى أشد ضرراً من الزرنيخ، من اليود، الأشياء المسببة إلى الموت المباشر، فقالوا عنه أذى. سبحان الله، أتى الإسلام لينقي هذا الأمر، أنه جعله هذا الأمر جعله بموضع النجاسة. الرجل بالنسبة للمرأة له كل شيء بالمرأة حتى في حالة الحيض، سوى أن يتجنب هذا الموضع كما ذكرنا، وله ما فوق الإزار بكامل جسد المرأة.
I never really thought of the huge impact patriarchy has on our menstruation. We, men and women, have been conditioned to view the menstrual cycle as something dirty, and we have internalized that. I'm not religious. I might have been baptized as a child, but we never really practiced our faith. But actually, listening to these men, I realized that this is beyond practice or faith or spoken words. I understand why women today have a hard time accepting this vision. I myself am appalled by the idea that men have dictated for years and still dictate how I deal with my body. So I decided to delve into an alternative world, and I was amazed to meet women who were rebelling against patriarchal capitalistic principles and creating their own connection and writing their own stories about their cycle. Women who paint with their blood, who reconnect to their feminine figures through movement, women who paint their womb, women who give back their blood to the earth, women who write to their blood. I even participated in some of the workshops and wrote a poem to my periods. I learned new ways to look at my cycle.
And this one says, come with peace, love, and wisdom. Come and help me release what I no longer need in my life. I like my pad.
And through this somewhat underground society, I was put in touch with Manasseh, a keeper of women's secret, who has dedicated the past 10 years of her life helping women reconnect to their cycle. I wanted to know what led her into this field.
What I found on my journey was that I was in extreme pain. I had endometriosis, and they wanted to remove my womb, or partial hysterectomy. And I was faced with that, and my initial reaction was, yeah, get rid of it, hate it, you know, ugh, and then I don't have to have it anymore. And it was only when I came home from the doctor and said to my husband, you know, partial hysterectomy, and he was like, yeah, go for it. And I was like, what? This womb has given you 4 babies. How could you just say remove it? And so suddenly there was part of me that was defending my womb, even though just half an hour before, and I was doing exactly what he was saying, you know. And then what happened was I literally opened a can of worms, literally, by, you know, and realized, oh my God, I hate my blood, I hate my period, I hate the inconvenience of it, and I have hated it ever since I was 13 from my first blood. And my mother, bless her, she used to call it the curse. And so the curse would visit every month, and it was a curse because I called it a curse. So immediately when I was looking for ways of healing, I changed the name from curse to moon time. Now I call it my red tent time, and now, years on, I love my period. I love it because I love my cycle. I love how clever my body is. She goes through these cycles, and you know, when I bleed, I take time out. And then if I take that time for me and I release and let go, not just the blood, but the emotions, the spiritual stuff, you know, it's almost like a mini death. Then I die, and then I rebirth. And so it's just honoring this cycle is so empowering.
Vanessa invited me to attend her Reclaim Reason and Ritual workshop, a workshop she holds over the period of a month, claiming to help women reconnect with their secret essence and heal core feminine wounds.
I'm heading to this event where you kind of reconnect with your menstruation. There's a part of me that feels like a lot of this is like bullshit, and there's another part of me that's interested in knowing where this goes. I'm kind of interested to see if my relationship with my menstruation is going to change or not. But there's so many of these events now that you kind of don't know what is real and what is not real. So that's it. I'm ready. I have my mat. They also asked me to bring a picture of like the first time, like the age, so this is me. You know. And I think that's the day, like when I got my period actually. We were at the desert. So I'm gonna relive that moment. Now let's see. Maybe this will put me more in touch with the person that I am. The person I'm supposed to be. But that's it.
much for being in this circle with me tonight. And the idea, the hope, the prayer is that this circle holds you and nourishes you and gives you exactly what you need right now, no more, no less. I'm just an invitation for you to dream and to imagine and to remember. The idea of remembering is that sometimes we don't recall our first blood. We don't recall that time, or it was fairly kind of like invisible, you know, nobody took, or maybe it was hugely embarrassing. And you can receive kind of an idea of what you need, what she needs, or what she needed then. Just share your story. You can share either how you felt in your body, what the first blood, I mean predominantly what the first blood was like, how people were around you, how you would like to be different. Maybe to this bit, let's start with what happened. What happened for you, your experience of your first blood, and share that. And then in that process of sharing, we do it in such a way that is really healing, because we do it in partners. And the person that was listening is going to ask permission to say, can I share your story with the circle? I need to put a few more pants on because we need to keep it in place. So kind of pile on your pants, and then slow, and then I'm waking up.
So she felt like it was a very tough experience for her, and she felt very disconnected from her body.
Knew about it, but didn't know about it. There was sort of this confusion hovering around what it was.
Rebecca, can I tell your story?
Yes.
All right, so Rebecca got her first period when she was 13.
There's such a, it's just such a nourishment to that. There's a healing and it works. And the women just, you know, we sit and we hold each other, and it's like some women are like, I just wish my mom had told me more, or I wish my mom had been there. And so suddenly we're sitting in circle, and you know, the person hugging you is suddenly your mother that you didn't have holding you at that point.
The workshop healed me somehow. My period started coming with no pain, no PMS. But beyond that, hearing the story of my first period being told made me realize that the sacredness of my body was somehow violated on that day. My mother had never spoken to me about periods. It was not celebrated, not mentioned, yet when it happened to me, she shared the news with everyone without my consent, as if my body didn't really matter. And this led me to forget somehow the respect for my body. I had never spoken to my mother about my first period. It was time for me to talk to her to understand why she had reacted the way she had.
تتذكر الشيء أنت أول مرة طلع لي الغيق؟
أنت طلع لك الرجل أول مرة؟ لا.
لا أبداً؟ ما بتتذكري؟ كنا بالصحراء؟ يمكن ما قلت لك وقتها كنا بالصحراء.
لا ما بتذكر أبداً.
لا؟ طب بس أنت بتتذكري ما كنت أبداً حكيتيني عن الغيق. يعني بس أقولك إنه أنا أول مرة طلع لي الغيق vraiment c'était comme un gros traumatisme. Ce qui est encore plus traumatisant لإلي إنه بتذكر قلت لك
ايه وطلبت منك انه قلت لك انه بونسان انه عم بقول لك بس لإلك
ايه
وقررت تخبري كل الناس وصاروا كل الناس يحكوني انه نيكول وجولي وتيتا يقولوا لي انه هي صرت مرة.
ايه
ما بتتذكري؟
لا ما بتذكر بس انه بفهم ليش انه سي كيك شوز انه انتر فام كون بارتاج انه
ايه بس انه
انا انه مش انه شيء انتيم بدي خليه بس الي ما عم تخبريني عن سكري انتيم
بس سي رابور افيك مون كور نو
لانه انت بتحكي انه انت بتستوعب الاشياء بشكل وانا بستوعب انه شفتي حتى مع الراجل تبعيتي انا ما كنت عم بعطيها الاهميه.
ايه بس سوف كو يمكن لإلك كان شيء مهم وعم خبرك
يمكن بس انه انا بالنسبه إلي انه كان عندي غير بيرسبسيون انه بالعكس كنت مبسوطه فيكي انه صرتي tu es devenue une femme عرفتي وانه je voulais partager cette nouvelle avec les personnes que j'aime qui sont les plus proches اللي هن امي واخواتي.
بس لا اقولك حسيت حالي هالقد انه مستحيه كم humiliée comme j'avais vraiment un sens d'humiliation que j'ai porté انه انا بحس انه يمكن الرجل صار كم un rappel douloureux chaque mois يمكن لان انه صار اول شيء انه ما حدا ما قال لي انه عرفت انا من الرجل من نورة لان كان اول وحده بس انه ما فكرت انه انا رح تجيني وانت ولا مره حكيتيني فيها تتذكر انت ولا مره قلتي لي شيء عن الرجل ولا مره خبرتيني.
اي عمر اجتي؟
12 سنه. جافي 12 ans.
ما يعني ما عندي ما بتذكر لا يمكن عم جرب فكر انه ليش ما حكيتك.
اسكو انت كنت شيء انه تابو لإلك يمكن؟
لا يعني مش مثل امي.
غريب بس بتعرفي عن جد كتير غريب لانه وقتها طلع لي الرجل فريمون حسيت انه تو دان كو انه صرت مرة هيك حسيت انه تو دان كو وصار ميم تون ريغار لان يمكن جمعة و 2 سيمين ابري انه قلت لي هي ليه يعني لازم صار بتذكر لا قلت لي البس سوتيان انه لازم صار تلبسي سوتيان كان لابسه تيشيرت اخضر وقلت لي كان في ناس قاعدين انه يمكن بابي ام شي بس فريمون سا مافي فريمون ما بعرف ليه انه هالقد سا ما تروماتيزي.
Tu n'étais pas contente de devenir femme?
Non, pas du tout. Je voulais rester un enfant.
أنا بالعكس وقت اللي أنا أجيت انبسطت إنه رح صير كبيرة.
بس أنا أبداً.
أخذتها مثل ما أنا أخذتها، يعني مثل ما أنا كنت فكر إنه كنت انبسط.
فريمون الإحساس اللي كنت حس إنه بقرف.
لا مش بقرف بس هو كلنا بنفكر إنه هاي جاية مجية من جاية.
شو جية؟
المجية هي هيدي الراجل اسمها المجية.
هيك بيقولوا؟
ايه جاية من كلمة جاية.
بس انت كنت تحسي انه جاية؟
ايه
لاني
ايه اكيد لانه انه سي ان سوسي تجوي تيابك تعدي على الكنبية بتجويها بتلبسي بنطلون بتبقحي لانه كانت البروتكسيون منا كتير افيكاس مثل هلا هالايام بقى سوفون كنا نحس حالنا امباراسي بس يبين انه عنا دم وهيك.
Est-ce que tu penses que ta relation avec tes règles, tu as comme quelque chose de négatif quelque part, a affecté ma relation avec mes règles inconsciemment ما بقولك انه
اكيد لا اكيد لانه مين عندك بوجهك امك.
Good morning. Dis bonjour à papa.
I became a mother on the 28th of June 2015 to a beautiful little girl called Ava.
Bonjour, Papa.
I read once that whatever we don't deal with within our life, we pass on to our children.
Ava.
It was time for me to deal and dig deeper into this period issue. I decided to travel to Lebanon, the country of my birth, the country where my mother lived the first 21 years of her life. Although my parents had left Lebanon many moons ago because of the civil war, They always made it a point that we spend parts of our summer taking in the beautiful Mediterranean sun and breeze. I was now doing the same with my daughter. I asked my dad to get out all the tapes from our youth.
HDMI 3.
Growing up, my father, an avid photographer, spent hours on end capturing moments of our life on tape. My parents got married when my mom was 3 months shy of turning 21. The war in Lebanon had started 6 years back. I wonder what would make people under such circumstances get married, celebrate love when life itself can't be celebrated. They probably had hoped to live a long, happy, peaceful life in Lebanon, but because of the war, they moved to Saudi Arabia, where my mom got pregnant. She once told me that when she found out that she was pregnant, she was feeling so guilty to call her parents to tell them that she was carrying life as they were stuck in Lebanon fighting for theirs. When I look at her, I see a child taking care of a child.
Leah.
بصور خلص.
طب اوكي، طب قولوا لي كيف تتذكروني انا وصغيره؟ كنت very happy baby.
ايه.
ضلك تضحكي، ضلك مبسوطة.
تحبي تغني. خرجيهم هيك، عاديهم هيك، خرجيهم سنك انه راح. بلشت تتغيري لما
à l'âge de 13 ans.
ايه à l'âge de 12 ans 13 ans.
كيف تغيرت؟
تغيرتي، بلشتي ترسمي على الحيطان عندك والازاز بالاوضه. بيانتو فريدوم، بيانتو ما ليبرتي، مثل كأنه نحن حابسينك كنا.
ما بتقولي انه يمكن هاي الهرمون؟
ايه بروباب، ما بعرف.
يمكن كمان سي هرمونال. ايه.
That's me in the spot.
انت بتتذكري الغيب تبعولي؟
ايه بتذكر، بتذكر وقتها قالت لي كوليت لا يسرق ليا، قلت لها فيري جود، شو بدي اقول لها؟ شو بدك اقول لها؟ يعني pour moi c'était quelque chose de normal dans le cycle de la vie. Ça doit arriver aux femmes un jour ou l'autre يعني.
طب انت ما كنت تعمل PMS؟ ما كنت تزعجك؟ ما كنت
ما كانت انت كنت PMSing؟ لا ما كانت PMS.
ما كنت تحس هنية انا
لا اجمالا c'est une femme très هيك
égale à elle-même.
Égale à elle-même.
Même quand j'avais mes règles, je n'en faisais pas de soucis يعني.
ما هو حسب كل وحده، حسب كل وحده تو ديبوند دو لا بيرسون.
اذا عاملين مشروع بحر مش رح اقول له يي لا ما بدي اروح على البحر، لانه
البحر اهم، مش بتقعد
اهم
تعمل هيك وبتعصب I'm PMSing مثل الناس بنعرفهم مش هيك؟
شو انا عم تحكي عني؟
مين قولك؟ بس هو ما في شك وقت ما تجي تكون في بيريد عند المرأة الهاي أكيد طبعها بيتغير، تصرفها بيتغير.
أنا كنت تحس كمان مش
لا
كان يوجعني بطني
بحس أكيد. شو لك يعني؟
أوقات كان يوجعني ظهري، في فترة صار يوجعني
بس
ظهري.
أنا من الناس اللي بيحبوا يتجنبوا.
كيف بتعرف؟ تكون شفت
بتلفن للجارة بسألها شو قولي كيف بعرف.
Tu penses que ton éducation religieuse a joué un rôle dans ta sexualité et dans ta relation avec tes règles? ايه bien sûr، ايه اكيد.
وانا كمان.
انه كل هدول الاشياء ما مفروض لا نحكي عنه، وما انه c'était un sujet مش tabou، بس انه un sujet qu'on ne discute pas aussi ouvertement انت tu peux pas être là انت منك ولا
My mother grew up going to a nun school. Her family came from a middle-class Christian family from West Beirut and had a strong attachment to the religion as a cultural identity. What role did her education and culture have in her relationship with her periods? What role did her mother play?
أنا أول شيء تالت بنت، دايماً تالت بنت مش مستحبة لأنه إنه دايماً بحبوا بالميليو تبعنا بحب يجون صبي إنه على أساس صبي بيقدر يساعدهم بيكبر بيحمل اسم العائلة وهيك. أنا هي الماما كانت تقلي أول ما خلقت إنه كانت بدها تكبني إنه ما بدها ياني j'étais pas l'enfant شو بيقولوا دونت ريفي أو هيك بس أول ما شفتني إنه اللي خلصني لأنه كنت شقرة وعيوني هيك عم بيضووا بقى هالشي قال إنه شفع فيي حست إنه مثل هيدا it's a gift from God pour compenser pour ses peines. ما كانت كتير عندها وقت إلي خصيصاً إلي لأنه كان الأفضلية لأختي الكبيرة لجولي دايماً الكبيرة بيحبوا يحطوها بالواجهة والصغيرة إنه سافا بيمشي الحال. Ma mère, elle a eu beaucoup de circonstances difficiles, ce qui l'a rendue plus... Elle intériorisait ses soucis, elle intériorisait... يعني ما كانت تحكي عن اشياء معنا.
Quel rôle ta mère a joué in your womanhood, in your journey to womanhood? Did she have a role? Maybe she didn't, but did she have a role? Maybe she didn't, maybe because she herself didn't feel comfortable in her womanhood.
يمكن يمكن.
You know?
كنا نركز على الكوتي رومانتيك تبع الاشياء beaucoup plus que le côté sexuel.
Donc les règles sont sexuelles?
ايه بفتكر ايه يعني ça a rapport avec les organes génitaux وهيك ما كنا كتير نحكي فيهم.
أوليك يمكن لأن c'était aussi durant la période de guerre إنه كان عندهم الناس أشياء أهم يمكن.
إيه probablement ايه on avait d'autres soucis. يعني أنا بلشت الحرب كان عمري 14 سنة. On avait le souci de survivre, on avait le souci de trouver de la nourriture, on avait le souci de où s'enfuir, où se protéger, où dormir pour être loin des bombes. بس ما بتذكر شيء عن الرجل بابا.
If my mom couldn't remember, then maybe her sister could. My mom and her sister Nicole grew up inseparable. She is one of the closest persons to my mom and the one that knows her best.
Tu as vu les cèdres? Les cèdres du Liban, tu as vu? Voilà les arbres, on appelle ça les cèdres. Les cèdres du Liban.
ما تكذبي.
لا مش مكذب بدك اتذكر.
أنا أضرب منك.
يعني بتذكر هيك فاجمون.
ليه شو بتتذكري
بلشتي؟
ايه.
يعني بتذكر النهار اللي I had my period أول مرة.
ايه.
هاي بتذكرها.
شو بتتذكري؟
بتذكر إنه كنا ببيت الجبل وبعدين
بالخنشارة.
بالخنشارة إيه. وانه وقت شفت انه اجى دم، صار في دم، ما فهمت اول شيء، لانه ما عرفت، ما كان حدا محضرني يعني للقصه تماما. لا، الماما كانت تستحي، ما كنا نحكي ابدا، ما كان في the modern sex education اللي انه بيعلموا الاولاد مثل ما مثلا هلا مع بنتي انه بالمدرسه بيحضروها. ما كنا نحكي كثير، يعني سيتي ان سوجي تابو، بس لانه في اسوسياسيون بين الراجل وبين البروكرياسيون والانتركورس، سكشوال انتركورس. يعني
هون بالميدل ايست بفتكر وقت الوحده بتجي على الراجل يعني صارت خرج تتجوز،
يعني لو بلبنان
ايه
بس كمان اذا les règles sont liées à انه au fait que tu en tant que femme tu peux porter des enfants، ما بتحسوا انه كان لازم امكم تقلكم انه هلا انتبهوا يمكن تحبوا؟
لا، كانوا يقولوا لنا ديانا مثلا اكثر وحده كانت تقلنا انه لهون وبس، انه on peut avoir des relations لهون وبس، انه qu'il n'y ait pas de toucher او هيك. انه كان c'était ouvertement déclaré انه il faut pas qu'il y ait une relation plus
avancée. لا اكيد انه we were aware.
بس les choses ont vraiment évolué depuis notre temps لايامكم انتم، انه هلا الاولاد صاروا beaucoup plus épanouis وبيسالوا اكثر. هلا مثلا انا بشوف ايفا مثلا كيف تسال ليا اسئله، انه نحن ما كنا نسال هالاسئله.
Et c'est quoi les règles?
Du sang.
Qui coule?
Qui coule.
Où il coule?
Couche.
Dans la couche? Est-ce que toi tu as tes règles?
Non.
Et quand tu penses que tu vas avoir les règles alors?
Quand je serai une maman.
Quand tu seras une maman? Est-ce que tu as hâte d'avoir tes règles?
Oui.
Pourquoi?
Parce que mon petit enfant, il va choisir le meilleur.
نشرب القهوة.
I wish my grandmother was still alive. She was beautiful, and I had a very close relationship with her. I sometimes see her through my daughter, through my mom, through myself. I spent a lot of time filming with her and talking to her. We talked about everything. I thought I knew everything about her.
بيجي لهون كمان أوقات بهرب من العالم.
But I found out a year ago about a secret family affair that my grandmother had lived as a young girl, which I thought might have played a role in her aversion around the subject of periods and sex. Only Diana, the cousin of my mother, who had a very close relationship with my grandmother, the holder of our family secret, would be able to answer me without having me to guess, without subtext or in between the lines.
تتذكري انت تيتا حكيتك شيء عن اول الغيب؟ بتعرفي كيف اول مرة طلع لها الغيب؟
طنط ليلى لا، بس امبارح خصوصي كرمالك سألت الماما. Elles étaient réglées à presque 11-12 ans. Ou tante Leila, j'étais plus fort. Un peu plus fort que maman. Maman n'a rien senti du tout. Parce que tante Leila a eu beaucoup de mal. Et c'était un peu fort. هن كانوا معهم خبر، تيتا مخبرتهم. ايه مشان هيك ما خافوا اثنينهم. ناطرينا، خاصة الماما ناطرتها كثير عملها منيح. احنا كلنا جينيراسيون اذا كانوا يخبرونا القصه.
بس كيف مامي قالت لي باغ اكزامبل انه هي اما ما قالت لها او لك يمكن لان خافوا يمكن من انه من قصه ستي يمكن
قصه ستيك
ايه او لك مشان هيك
بتعرفيها
انه هيك مامي خبرتني بزمون.
انا حتى مش سائله امك اذا بتعرفها لانه هذا من اسرار الام بتعطيني اياهم. اجا نون بارل جامي ا بيرسون.
وانه ما حكيت يعني
ما بتنحكى هيك قصه ابدا.
لا بس ما حكيت ايفن عن الغايب، ما خبرت مامي ولا نيكول.
ما بدها تفتح الحديث مثل ما قلتي، كل هالحديث بسمها.
او لك لو الغايب لانه اسكلا اسوسي لي غايب.
لا tout ce qui est féminin بده يكون. tous les problèmes de la femme هيدا اللي بده يكون صار فيها وقتها.
ومشان هيك بطلت تحكي ما قالت لهم؟
إيه ما بدها تفتح هيك حديث، ما بيعجبها.
I wanted to understand more the environment where my mom and my aunt grew up, so I decided to drive down memory lane and ask them to take me to the house where they spent their childhood, the house where they got their first period, the house where it all began.
قد ايه مرات ترميه؟
6. شوف اي مفتاح هيدا يمكن. تنفتح الشباك المطبخ شوي.
مش هلا تشرب.
لا سبعة زيت مشهور بس كله ذكريات.
هاي أوضة جدو؟
هاي أوضة البابا فيها كتب أخذتهم.
هاي كان أوضتكم؟
هاي كانت أوضتنا نحن وصغار.
انتوا ثلاثة تناموا هون؟
ايه وكان يبقى في كنبة هونيك لست زبايدة كانت اثنين.
يعني 4 يناموا بهالأوضة؟
ايه فوالا.
وهون كانوا تشوفوا الحرب من هون؟
ايه لبوجنا النبعة.
ايه انه كنتوا تسمعوا
كانوا يعيطوا لبعضهم ويسبوا لبعضهم من النبعة هونيك.
ايه
والجعتاوي ورانا بتتذكري وين قلت لك
إيه
الدرج هونيك كانوا كتائب والقوات وما بعرف مين ويخبطوا بعضهم.
بس انه مش هي خطرة كانت الأوضة؟
بلا كانت كتير خطرة. ما مرة أول الحرب كنت أنا نايمة هون وطلع انفجار ووقع الإزاز كله.
عليكم؟
ايه.
ما انصبتوا؟
لا ما صارنا شي. بعدين مرة أنا وصغيرة كانت الماما عم تشرب قهوة عند طنط أنا وأنا لحقتها عم بقطع الطريق. ما بعرف إذا مخبرتك إياها القصة.
لا.
عم بقطع الطريق تروح عند طنط أنا وكانوا لاقطين واحد فلسطيني ما بعرف شو يعني ان كادافر ورابطينه بحبلة وجيب عم بيشرحطوا من أول الطريق لآخر الشارع وأنا عم بقطع. يعني مرقت الجيب افتكرت انه صار فيني اقطع يعني جالي بيتيني لو كادافر
وبلشت صرخ وبعدني لهلا جاي لشاف دخول. صاروا يحرقوني بالسيجارة برقبتي قلب. ليه؟ بول الشوك حتى يعملوا لي كونتر شوك.
قد ايه كان عمرك؟
كنت عمري 13 سنة 14. هي الحرب بلشت 14 سنة كان عمري. بتذكر قعدنا على الدرج هونيك عند يوناي.
ايه انه شو تيتا سمعتك من
ما بلشت صرخ صرت ولول. ايه ساعة بس.
Ça a passé. Tout passe. Everything passes. That's how my mother dealt with trauma following the footsteps of her mother. Letting go of things that scar us as a way to move forward in life. I understand now why my mother couldn't comprehend me making such a big deal out of my periods. She had gone through much worse, and yet still found it in her to let go.
I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me.
This summer, my stepdaughter Sophia got her first period, and it was now my turn to play a role in a girl's entrance to womanhood.
I sit down? Yeah. The first period, I had like a bit of uncomfortable, so then I went to the bathroom and I literally thought I pooped myself, and I asked Leah. Leah is my stepmom and actually the one who's filming this, and she said, "Yeah, that's it. You have your period." So the first time that I heard that, I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, like, these 2 years, I wanted this day to come, and finally, it's this day. I'm entering the women's club, and I'm gonna be part of it, like, loads of years, from this day till I don't know when.
So did you feel like kind of like you were saying bye to your childhood?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hi. Hi, Sophia. Hi. Hi, Eva. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Mommy.
You can get this one.
So I think this time is a rebirth for me, because I'm getting my period in the desert. Wow. And it's a dark moon.
You can do live painting.
And the first time I got my period was when I was in the desert. So I think it's the cycle turn for me.
When you finish, put this so we make Turkish coffee.
Does anybody care?
Nobody cares about your period.
I feel I'm turning a cycle. Jordy, do you care? Or you're just worried?
I'm just focused on my egg. Not your eggs. Right now.
And Manny? What? You think I'm turning a cycle? No. Why? You're normal. No, but turning a cycle. Like the first time I got my period was in the desert. And now I have my period and we're in the desert. And it's Christmas. And it's a dark moon. So I'm supposed to go inward.
And your husband is cooking eggs. It's just all aligned.
Yes. What a coincidence.
Yeah. I'm doing the last one.
Maybe I'm letting go of something.
You're what?
I'm letting go of something.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Leah, your first period got it in the desert?
Yes, you don't remember that I told you? Why did we have this conversation if you can't even remember?
Yeah? I am an old lady.
Mommy, you're not old. But it's absurd that you didn't remember, so I had to tell you, and now you don't remember?
Allah, you just said it.
No, I told you before.
I forgot.
Even Jordy knows.
They say women carry their mother's tale into the next generation, and the more they know about their mother's life, the stronger they are. Today, I feel stronger. I feel that I broke a cycle to pave a new path for my daughter's cycle, one more beautiful, more transparent, more positive, knowing that one day she might also need to forgive me.